Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Press the Action Button podcast here on the Digital Delirium YouTube channel. As always, I am your host, Josh, and with me is my good friend Eric. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, yo.
And this is the long-awaited Nintendo podcast that we promised you guys forever fucking ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and when we first planned this, they hadn't even announced the Switch. That's how long ago we first planned to do this. We're going to talk about all the problems that Nintendo had throughout essentially what Nintendo did throughout the entire lifespan of the Wii U was fuck up over and over and over again. It was fascinating to watch.
It's funny, but I'm actually glad that we ended up waiting so long because it's always better to end on a positive.
Yeah. You know? We don't want to give off the vibe that we hate Nintendo, even though we're going to bitch about them plenty in this video.
Oh, I'm a huge Nintendo fan, so...
Yeah, I mean, the Super Nintendo is probably my number 2 console ever behind the original PlayStation. So, that'll give you some idea. We don't hate Nintendo. Now let's bitch about Nintendo. So I want, like I said, like I was telling you before we started recording, I want to start back at the E3 back when they were still doing on-stage showings, like a full press conference, where they first announced the Wii U at E3.
Was that their last on stage? Do you remember?
I don't think so. I thought they had one after that, because I thought they came back to E3 the next year and did another announcement for the Wii U that was like an apology kind of thing.
Because the Wii U came out in 2012, and I know it's been a little while since they've done like an on-stage press conference.
Yeah, it has. It's been 3 or 4
Remember,
years.
because then they had like, what the fuck? It was like Nintendo Land was the game that closed it. It was just so bizarre.
Yeah. What I heard, I thought that was when they announced the Wii U proper. Was when they ended with Nintendo Land. Am I wrong?
I think you're right. Yeah, because it came with Nintendo Land.
Yeah. We'll talk about that after we talk about this. Like, do you remember this conference? And it was kind of a disaster.
Yeah, I remember it because they had the video. Trying to, like, I can picture it. They had the video and they just showed the gamepad, and there was like a guy who, I remember he like set it on the floor and he was pretending to golf over the gamepad.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember watching it, and because obviously the Wii was like so massive, but then the only games that ended up coming out for it were like shitty shareware, like, you know, carnival rides and carnival games. Like, eventually it just became just nothing but that.
Yeah, the Wii, toward the end of its lifespan, quit getting any good third-party support at all, and they got tons of shovelware.
Didn't even get any good first-party support.
So we could argue that Nintendo started faltering before this, but this is when it first got really bad, is when they announced this thing. Yeah, and they spent the entire conference showing off the controller, and they had like one brief screenshot showing off the console.
Yeah, and so you're seeing the Wii U, so they're just showing the gamepad, and it's this big, clunky, like Fisher-Price looking, you know, toy, and I remember thinking, like, this is not good, right?
Yeah.
And so, you think that came out in 2012, and the PS3 came out in, like, I think 2005, 2006, right?
Yeah.
But the PS3 looks so much more advanced. Like, here's Nintendo, and they're showing what just looks like a really clunky, off-brand toy you would buy, like, at Toys R Us randomly.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Like, the Wiimote was a great controller. You could turn it sideways, and it was like a NES controller, then they had the Pro controller, then you could get the GameCube controller. And I was like, that was so good. So then they go to this fucking gamepad. I just remember watching that press conference, just sitting there in disbelief. Like, I didn't really know what to make of it. And then you could see in the background, there's only a couple shots, but there was like they had a TV on like a white TV stand, and there was the Wii U console, but it was kind of blurry.
And they never drew attention to the console itself. They
No.
didn't talk about its specs or its capabilities or how many polys it pushed or anything.
They didn't say a fucking thing, and it wasn't until I think after the conference when they said like, yeah, what you saw was the actual console. We're going to talk about that next year. And you're just like, why the fuck did you even show this?
Yeah. And to confuse things even further, like, people left that whole conference thinking, is this a new console or is it not a new console? And that confusion extended well beyond this initial conference.
Because I remember people thinking that, like, you would download the games onto the gamepad, and, like, that was the system. It was going to be, like, their new handheld.
Yeah. And then they showed it working with the Wiimote and the nunchuck and stuff, and you're sitting there going, okay, so is this a peripheral for the Wii? Because you guys have put out a shit ton of those.
That's a good observation. Is that you could have made the case that it was another thing that you could hook up to the Wii, that you could sit on the floor and you could play golf, or you could play baseball. You could stand over and swing, but it wasn't actually part of a new console.
Yeah, and that's very much where the confusion. I mean, this past year we talked about Microsoft doing a poor job showing off the capabilities of their new system. That is nothing in comparison to how bad this was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, it was a legendary misstep. I mean, of all the terrible ideas, and I love Nintendo to death, but they have their share of head-scratching moments, and that's probably the biggest one that I can ever remember them doing.
Yeah, it's definitely up there with, like, the what was the vitality sensor or whatever that you put your finger in. It never came out because they realized it was a terrible idea.
What I like, because the Wii was, I mean, that came out when the Wii was doing pretty well, right?
Yeah.
And what I like is when Nintendo's successful, they can go off and they can do weird shit. As long as they're still successful and they have a console that they're supporting, that's fine. Do something weird, do something stupid. By all means. Yeah. But when that weird, stupid thing you're doing is the new console itself, that's when shit happens.
Yeah, and this conference was so bad that, if I remember right, Nintendo, like, officially apologized for this thing.
Yeah, they had to put out a few pressers, like, okay, well, that's not the console, it's the gamepad. Yes, you can use it, you can use a different controller. And there was so much, for a console that wasn't going to come out for like a year, there was so much negativity around it. It was just unbelievable. And then when they announced the name of it alone, it's like the Wii U. Like, what the
terrible name. Like, instantly lends credence to the idea that this is an extension of the Wii and not a new console.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, like, what else they could have named that thing. And this is also speaking from somebody who fucking bought a Wii U and I have games for it, so, it's not like I don't know what it's all about. I do actually like, it's a good console itself.
Yeah.
The gamepad's complete trash, but,
Yeah, I never owned one, but they came back the next year, and then they did like a re-announcement of it, and this time they did much, much better, because they let you know up front that this is a new console.
They did it, yeah, and but I remember them. Okay, here's the console, but I remember the press conference being weird, and then I just remember watching it and going like, okay, well, it's a new console. Okay, we got that out of the way. So what are the games? And then they were kind of fucking around, and then they closed the press conference with
the Nintendo game they had already shown like 10 minutes of.
Yeah, like. And Nintendo Land comes with it. I'm pretty sure it came with the console. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
it did. I remember that it did.
And it's just a demo, so they literally closed E3 with a demo.
Yeah, it's like spending your entire Wii press conference showing off the Wii, closing it off with, and here's more Wii Sports. So, like, Wii Sports is great, but it's a demo of what the Wii was capable of.
Yeah, and like in Nintendo Land you could consider it a demo of a demo. I mean, I played it once. There's absolutely nothing to it.
Yeah, what I heard, and keep in mind this is just a rumor, it's unconfirmed, I can't tell you if this is true or not, but what I heard about Nintendo, that particular press conference, was they were supposed to close with Star Fox Zero, and the demo for it wasn't ready, and it took them a couple of years to even show Star Fox Zero off.
Well, yeah, that didn't go too well when it finally came out either.
Yeah, and it should have, because if they had just stuck with a normal fucking control scheme, I think people would have probably liked it a lot more.
Well, yeah, like, from what I have heard and read, they were making it, and then there were so many different decisions, and then one person wanted to go in a completely other direction, and I would love to read a book on the story of the making of that game.
Yeah. It'd be fascinating, but that's what I've heard, is they were supposed to close off with Star Fox and it wasn't ready, so they wound up going with more Nintendo Land and a lame little fireworks show. They
should have just said, okay, let's end the show. We're not, showing Nintendo Land was a terrible idea.
Yeah, but still, this conference was much better in that it actually let you know that this goddamn thing was a new console.
Yeah, but I remember the hype, even after that console, or like that press conference, the hype just wasn't there, because there was so much bad, like, word of mouth about the Wii U, and then, no one knew what the specs were, is it competing with Sony and Microsoft, is it not? They showed that, with the tech demo of that Zelda game, it was the realistic-ish looking Zelda game, the graphics look so crazy. Oh, can it do that? Is it going to run third-party games? Which, I don't know why anybody would want to buy a Nintendo console and play Call of Duty on it. But that's just me. But at the same time, like, you still want a variety of games. But I just remember there was, two years in a row press conferences for a new console, and people left with more questions than they had answers each time.
Yeah, but they did do one thing right, and that is, it didn't pan out for them, but they courted third-party companies and got a bunch of them to make games for the Wii U in about the first year of the Wii U until it was a flop.
They also released Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze for the Wii U, and that game's amazing. And it's coming out on Switch, so
yeah,
one of the best platforms ever made.
That's what I'm noticing, is their big game for the Wii U, they're putting them all on Switch.
Oh, do it. I think everything should be on the Switch. I love that thing to death.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Switch.
Yeah, sure.
They courted with third parties, and for the first year, until the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out, they were getting third-party games that would came to the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, because it was more powerful than those systems.
Yeah.
But by comparison to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, not even mentioning the Pro and the X, it pales in comparison.
Well, I heard it was a pain in the dick to develop for, too.
I can't say here or there on that.
Yeah,
but
a couple things. Yeah. But I remember, because when it came out, I don't remember what the launch lineup was, but I remember that zombie game, like Zombie U.
Yeah, that eventually came to the PS4.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of a good start for them. Like, oh, they're showing, like, hey, we're going to have mature titles on this, too. But
yeah, they got Mass Effect 3 as well.
Oh, fuck yeah, they did. Mass Effect 3.
And it got, what was the Batman Arkham game that it got?
Oh, God, it was Arkham City. No, not Arkham City. Yeah, Arkham City. But remember, it was like the Armored Edition?
Yeah, I remember it was like a special edition of it or something.
And I remember because all the different... I remember it was Spike TV, which is not Spike TV anymore, and YouTube had like live E3 streaming. And I remember after the Nintendo conference, and they had Reggie was on, and Jeff Keighley was talking to him, and he said, Reggie was bragging about Batman, like, oh, we brought a special version of Batman, and Jeff was like, well, it's just Batman, but he's got metal fists, and Reggie's like, no, that's not, and you could tell he's like, oh, fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I remember everybody laughed, like, they touted this special version of the game, but it was just the Armored Edition, and it was literally, he had an armor suit. I don't know why, I thought that was fucking hysterical at the time.
Yeah. So, Nintendo, not always the best track record of trying to get third-party companies on their system, but it seems to be working well for the Switch.
Oh, it's
but
working.
For the Wii U, it worked for about a year.
Yeah.
And then new companies started developing games for the PS4 and the Xbox One, and porting them to the Wii U would have meant massive graphical downgrades. So, like the Wii before it, they just chose not to.
Well, the Wii U, because you've never, have you ever even used one?
No, I've never. I want one.
Yeah, for collector's sake. Like, I bought one at Target. It was on the shelf, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna buy it. But like, even the user interface, like, I know there's really good games for it, but the menus are terrible, and like, the load times just for the console menus, for some reason, are kind of a pain in the ass. And so it's backwards compatible to Wii games. But here's the thing, like, that just blew my mind about this thing, is if you want to play a Wii game on the Wii U, you have to switch the Wii U to Wii mode. And what it does, it takes fucking forever to load, and then it turns the system, like the menus and everything, it looks like you're using the Wii, but it like slowed the system down, and it took forever to load. So like, you would have been better off going out, buying a Wii, coming home, hooking it up, taking a nap, getting up, going for a jog, coming back, putting the game in. It would have taken you less fucking time than it would have to try and play a Wii game on a fucking Wii U. It was such a pain in the dick.
How do you screw up backwards compatibility that bad?
Oh my god, I know, like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I have to switch it to Wii mode, and it took forever. Oh my god. In fact, like, I would use the Wii if I wanted to play a Wii game, so I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. So, the next thing they screwed up big time regarding the Wii U was the fucking marketing. The marketing for this console was awful. Because even the commercials did not come out and say, hey, this is a new console and we screwed up naming it. It was, have an upgrade to your Wii. Upgrade from the Wii. And like, when people think upgrade, they think like, I'm putting a new video card in my same PC.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Sega CD. Because you didn't like fully know if Sega CD was a new console or an add-on, which turned out to just be an add-on, but
yeah, cool as fuck add-on, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Sega CD was a shit. I went and bought the fucking thing, but it was cool.
Yeah, I've got one. I like the thing, but
I didn't get it.
But the Wii U advertising sucked, and I'm not even sure they ever fixed it.
No, well, I mean, they gave up on that thing so fast.
Yeah, as soon as the Switch released, it's dead. I mean, the last game it got was Zelda.
They gave up on that thing well before the Switch. I mean, it was just dead in the water. They would put out maybe a game a year, and there were some shitty third-party ones that would come out, and yeah, Zelda Breath of the Wild came out for the Wii U, surprisingly, but
yeah, but yeah, they did cut it off real quick, and they had basically given up on it before that even.
Yeah, and I remember various interviews where they would say they hadn't given up on it. No, they're still going to support it. They really think they can, and you knew the whole time that they had just washed their hands and they were designing something else. Like, obviously they weren't going to keep supporting something that just failed so bad.
It really did. It is their least selling console ever. This sold worse than the GameCube by like 7-8 million units.
Yeah, and GameCube's probably still my favorite console I've ever had, but
I love the GameCube. It didn't sell particularly well, but I love it.
No, it didn't, but I love that thing to death. I would play that thing.
Put it into perspective, the PlayStation Portable outsold the GameCube.
Right. Yeah. But what's funny is the failure of the Wii U. I don't know why, because they had the 3DS. The 3DS at the time. When did 3DS come out? Because they've always killed it with handhelds.
Yeah, the 3DS they launched. I don't remember exactly when it came out. I remember they launched it about 6 months too early because for the first 6 months it got 0 fucking games, and they said that they weren't going to do that again, and then they did the exact same thing with the Wii U.
Because I know that the DS was very very popular, and the 3DS came out. And I bought one, even though I can't see it in 3D, which was kind of funny. It came out in 2011, so it came out a year before the Wii U. And it's funny that they had something so successful, and then they failed so spectacularly bad with the Wii U.
Yeah, those 4 years of the Wii U were like a giant train wreck for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch is going to, outsell the entire Wii U life cycle in less than a year, maybe a little hair over a year. I mean,
in about a year, maybe a year and a half, it will outsell the 13 million or so Wii U's that they sold. Yeah,
I mean, that thing's selling like hotcakes. It's awesome. I'm so happy, but it's just so funny. But one thing that always kind of got to me is people would kind of take the failure of the Wii U and they would maybe blow it up to almost like Nintendo's always been a failure, and I just never understood that, because I'm like, man, Nintendo's, and Nintendo's done, like, how can Nintendo screw up again? I'm like, man, Nintendo's been around for a long fucking time, like, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah. If you want to compare them in 3 out of the 4 past generations to how Sony has done, maybe you could make that argument, because the PlayStation 1 in sales kicked the crap out of the Nintendo 64. The PlayStation 2 is the best-selling console of all time, and the PlayStation 4 is the runaway hit of this generation.
Yeah, but Nintendo's not in it to compete in numbers with Sony. Yeah. They trust me, they don't give a fuck. It's like, I don't know, like, the next Star Wars movie that comes out, it's going to make $1 billion regardless. If it makes $1 billion less than the previous one, it's still going to be a massive fucking success. And so, for Nintendo, like, they have a lot of cash on hand. That company's thriving. They've made some bad decisions. They made some great decisions, but people, they love to compare them. So, the Wii U, the PS4, like, it's a totally different world for them. They're not in it to compete. If they're in it to compete with anything, it's your toys.
Yeah, but what baffles me about this is I've never seen Nintendo go through such an extended period of time where they made almost exclusively bad decisions.
Oh yeah, I mean it was for a Nintendo fan, a lifelong Nintendo fan like myself. It was a rough time because you start to wonder, like, what are they going to do? Or are they going to put another console out? Or are they just going to focus on handhelds? Which if they would have just, if Nintendo would have said, like, hey, we're just going to focus on the 3DS and then its successor. Okay, I'm in, regardless, because the games are going to be great. It's a great system.
Yeah.
But who knew what they were going to do?
Yeah. You have actual experience with the Wii U. I don't, so tell me what it's like to actually play the thing.
Clunky. Very. If I don't have a Wii U Pro controller. Mm-hmm. So one thing I did when I bought my Switch is I bought the Pro controller the same day. And the Pro controller is amazing. When I got the Wii U, I just thought, okay, I'm just going to use the gamepad because it's got 2 thumbsticks. It's got buttons. Yeah, it might be a little weird to use, but like when I say that I hate that gamepad, like I cannot stress enough how much I fucking hate that gamepad. But the console itself, I mean, when you're playing a game, like it runs smooth. It's perfect. I mean, I mentioned before about trying to play a Wii game is pretty much, I'd rather kill myself, but playing a Wii U game, like no trouble at all. The virtual console kind of sucked on it. Nothing ever really felt like super responsive. Click through menus. It was always kind of just felt like it was chugging along.
Yeah. Probably didn't have enough RAM. I've heard it got like 3 or 4 gig of RAM, and for a modern console, are you kidding me?
Right.
Especially when the Wii U interface takes up like half of that.
Yeah, and then so if you're playing, some games they would have, you could switch the games, to the tablet screen, and the screen on the tablet was terrible. It wasn't really that good, and to be honest, like the screen itself's not that big. Like you're holding this huge piece of plastic, and the screen is kind of a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I've heard that the tablet controller itself really doesn't feel good in the hands.
No, it's very awkward to use. Like you're really uncomfortable. You don't want to hold it. And I thought at first I was like, okay, well this will be perfect. My girlfriend. It didn't. My wife, not my girlfriend at the time. I was like, if she's watching TV, I can, play Mario or something on the Wii U. But it was for me, it was just such a cumbersome process to do anything.
Yeah. That
it made me not want to, and then to play anything on that gamepad, I cannot stress how much I hate that thing.
I've also heard that it kind of feels plasticky and cheap, which is kind of surprising.
You hold the gamepad, like I stress this, it feels like a Fisher-Price toy. Something that you would put push on the screen to make animal noises or whatever. Like that's literally how that thing feels. Like I cannot stress enough. Like that was my first impression. I've never got over it.
That just sucks, man.
Because it's like that shitty thick plastic. You pick it up and it's
Yeah.
Because like when you get a new console, like there's nothing better than taking everything out of the box and pulling the controllers out and you push the buttons down and everything.
Yeah.
With that, there was no joy.
That sounds really frustrating. And beyond that, Nintendo screwed up in other ways. And this is one that they're still doing. Their policies regarding YouTube and YouTube reviewers and the like fucking suck.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know, I can understand it from their point of view sometimes, but Nintendo's always they're on their own terms, and you either have to accept it or you don't, it's always just kind of, you never know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And I know they didn't want anybody, they don't want people streaming the games, which I don't think I would ever want to sit and stream Zelda because that game's so magical that I just want that experience for myself. But that's just me. I mean, I know there are plenty of people who wanted to stream it.
Yeah, I would. If Nintendo would fix their policies regarding YouTube, I would do Let's Plays of theirs, but I'm always afraid that they're just going to get taken down or something. I worked my ass off on this review of The Legend of Zelda, and it got taken down.
Yeah, you never know what they're going to do. I mean, it's strange. I'm not sure. There's got to be some kind of workaround there, but at the same time, Nintendo, they like doing everything on their own terms.
Yeah. From what I have heard is Nintendo of America gets it, but they're not the ones in charge.
Yeah.
So I've heard people say, I talked to Nintendo of America representatives privately, and they feel bad for the YouTubers and all this kind of stuff.
I mean, you would think they would want to get on it, with YouTube and like YouTube gaming and Twitch being so popular right now. You would think they would want at least some type of foot in that market, but they just, they don't seem to care.
Yeah, it's been around for more than a decade at this point, so it's not exactly new. It's the kind of thing that you should have gotten used to and go, okay, this is a form of entertainment. I want my advertisements on this because hundreds of thousands of people are going to see it.
Well, it's a little odd too, because in the first trailer for the amazing trailer for the Switch, when they first showed it, they show Splatoon 2 being used as an esport. I think that game could easily take off like that. But if they're going to use it as an esport, wouldn't you think you would want some type of streaming, a community supporting it by streaming?
Yeah.
So that, to me, that doesn't make sense.
With the Mario Kart, they actually had a feature that lets you upload replays to YouTube, and Nintendo claims them every single time someone does. And I'm like, if you're just going to do that, why did you put this feature in? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's... the decisions they make, I mean, shall we bring up friend codes? We might as well just get that out with them out of the way.
Does the Wii U still have friend codes?
Not only does the Wii U have it, the Switch has them.
Oh my god, you're kidding me.
No, I'm dead fucking serious. Switch has friend codes.
They've had friend codes for 11 years. Nobody has liked them for 11 years. And they can't even get a standard username?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I almost actually forgot. But then my buddy, he sent me a screenshot of his Switch. He's like, oh, add me as a friend on the Switch, and I looked and it was his friend code, and I was like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then I looked on mine, I had one too, and I was like, god damn it. Then I gotta, punch that stupid ass code in.
Yeah, friend codes are fucking annoying.
Oh god, they're the worst.
Just let me have a username and a friends list.
Yeah, and I don't know, it drives me crazy, the online decisions that they do make sometimes. You have friend codes, you have the fact that they want you to buy, Castlevania 30 million times. Nothing you buy ever transfers over, and you still deal with that.
Yeah, and beyond that, Nintendo also made other decisions that were both good and bad at the same time. What are the little figurines called?
Oh, amiibos.
Yeah, those. Great decision, poor implementation, because they intentionally created all kinds of problems stocking them on the shelves.
Well, they never should have. Those things, amiibos are awesome and they're so cool to use in games, but it's such a pain because the typical Nintendo supply and demand, that thing that they love to do so much is, these amiibos come out and then people want them to use in the game, and they only release a few of the certain kind or whatever. Oh man, I really want Link on the wolf. That's gonna be really sweet. Oh, I can't fucking find it anywhere. As a company, and because they did this with when they launched the NES Classic.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that next.
Yeah, we might as well just kind of see into it. As a company, I understand creating a demand for your product, to where you want people hyped, you want people excited, and thinking oh man, am I going to be able to get it? But also at the same time, you want people who are willing to give you money for a product to be able to get the product. If you create demand and then you release an even more limited amount than you should, you have scalpers are going to be the ones who go out and get them, right?
Yeah.
So scalpers are going to get the amiibos, they're going to get the NES Classic, they're immediately going to put them on eBay, charge a bullshit ridiculous price when here's a guy.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, so many people wanted to get the NES Classic, dads and moms get it. Oh, I remember these games, I played them when I was a kid, I want to share them with my kids. And all they want to do is go pay money, support this company, buy this product, and use it. And then the company itself is like, oh no, we're not going to let that happen.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
We want you to want it, but we don't want you to get it.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, if you did this once or twice and you're like, oh, we shortchanged it, then we released a ton more and fixed it, I would understand that. But no, at this point, Nintendo's doing it on purpose because they did it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
every single time they released a new amiibo, they did it.
Yeah, and they still do it with amiibos. They're getting better. So they did the SNES Classic, and then Reggie himself was like, don't pay a scalper for an SNES Classic. You know, if they sell out, we're going to put more out. Don't worry about it. And they've been really... Oh, God, I want one so bad. And they've been really good about it. I mean, I see them coming in stock fairly often. I think this summer they're going to release the NES Classic again.
I hope so. And I hope they do an N64 Classic.
That's my hope. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's my hope.
I would love that. Or like a Game Boy Classic. Give me some HD Game Boy games. That would be amazing.
I want a Game Boy Classic. Like if they release just the original Game Boy, but it's got a bunch of games built in. Oh my god! I'd take that thing everywhere.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. But, getting your hands on any new product that they put out, even like months after it was out, is still ridiculously hard. And it's been that way for years. And it's like people bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch.
Oh yeah.
And they don't listen.
Well, the Switch, so the Switch has been out for a little over a year, and it's finally at the point to where now if you want one, you can pretty easily go get one, which people are doing because I think it's selling like crazy right now. But you know, when it came out, you could not fucking find it. I mean, at all. And I get when a system comes out, it's going to sell out, but okay, then it's been a month, and it's been 2 months, and it's been 3 months, and it's like, oh, well, we got some coming. Like, you have a $300 system that people want to pay money for. Give them the opportunity to pay money for it.
Yeah. You said they're getting better about that, which is good. Hopefully
yeah, they seem to have learned. I know. I try to keep updated on how their stuff's doing and what's in stock. So I know that SNES Classic, keeps coming back in stock more often on different websites, on Amazon or Walmart or GameStop. And the Switch is now pretty easy to get one. So they seem to have hopefully learned, and they're not going to do it again, but obviously they're going to, Nintendo, they're definitely going to do it again.
Yeah, they do seem a lot slower to learn to modernize than... I mean, look, they just put voice acting in Zelda for the first time last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have done that back on the GameCube. They did it last year.
They're so interesting. Maybe the only way I can put it is just, I would love to sit down in like a corporate meeting on Nintendo where they're going to make 2 decisions on the Switch, 2 decisions for the 3DS, some figure decisions, and just hear the bullshit that some of these guys have to probably speak. Like, I can't imagine how hilarious it would be.
Yeah. I think the idea of the Switch was, let's take the idea from the Wii U where you don't have to have this plugged in, you don't have to have this on the TV screen in order to play it, and let's do it right this time.
Yeah, I mean, I never gave up hope, and so many people gave up hope on Nintendo, like, oh, they're done. They would laugh, like, oh man, because the Wii U. And I'm like, well, Nintendo
has failed
before. Yeah, and they've been in this position, and they're not sitting in no time was Nintendo sitting and looking and going, oh, the PlayStation 4 sold this much. Oh, we're so fucked. Because that's not how they think. Like, look at Nintendo's decisions. I guarantee you that's not how they think. They just released or announced a cardboard building.
Yeah, which I can't get past the price of said cardboard building.
I think it looks amazing.
It looks cool, but I can't get past the fact that it's $80 for cardboard.
Well, when the Switch came out, like the accessories for that thing, like the Pro Controller, $80, which is hilarious. But This, in my opinion, the best controller ever made. I'm just gonna put that out there. But
yeah, my vote still goes to the PS4 controller. I fucking love that thing, but
the PS4 controller is great, man. You gotta use that Pro controller. Just try it out. Big buttons. That thing's hefty.
Yeah, I will get a Switch at some point. I want one.
Oh yeah.
Because it looks like they learned from all the mistakes that they made over the 4 or 5 years of the Wii U and fixed basically everything.
You know what's amazing to me is like the Switch right now is probably, man, I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite console, but I kind of want to say it's my favorite console because I'm absolutely, you know, when you first get a new console, right? You first get like the PS3, the PS4, and there's like that just like kid feeling that you're so happy you can't wait to turn it on, look at the menus. And I get that feeling every fucking time I turn that Switch on. Every time I pick it up off the dock or put it back on the dock, take the Joy-Cons off, use the Pro controller. And I love that thing so much. It's so super easy to use. I mean, it works so fast. But there's plenty of problems with it, which is hilarious. There's no virtual console. There's online components terrible. Chat through it awful. Friend codes. Yet it's still massively succeeding.
Yeah. Well, first off, it's more powerful than the Wii U was. You can take some PlayStation 4 games, not have to downgrade them too incredibly much, and get them running on the Switch. I mean,
yeah,
you have to have some fairly big sacrifices to get Doom running, but they got Doom running.
Yeah, and look at any reviews of it. Look at any gameplay. It runs just fine. Wolfenstein 2 is coming out for it. So the Switch can do this stuff, you know. And Skyrim is on Switch, and Skyrim looks fantastic on there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then so you get that, and then you also get, you know, I mean, they launched that thing with Breath of the Wild, which may be the best game ever made. Like, they did so much right. And yeah, they're still fucking up in some ways. I mean,
they're still fucking up with regards to YouTube.
There's that. There's the fact that they announced, you know, it's going to have a virtual console. Well, it's been over a year. You haven't said a word about it. Well, it's going to have an online component where you pay. You know, they said it was going to be you would get one game a month, and then once the pay period was up, that game would go away and it would be replaced with a different game. Mm-hmm. And then everyone was like, "Oh, that's stupid. That's such a terrible idea." So then they change it. And they're like, "Okay, well, it's going to be kind of like a little Nintendo Netflix. You're going to pay like, you know, $4 or $5 a month, have a library of classic Nintendo games that you can play whenever and as much as you want."
Hasn't Sony done something similar with what is their streaming game?
PlayStation Now is an abomination.
Yeah, PlayStation Now. That's what I was trying to think of. Isn't that basically what they're doing with that, though?
It's a little bit different. What I think it is what Xbox is doing with the Game Pass, which is Xbox Game Pass is game changing. As bad of a pun as that is, PlayStation Now is fucking terrible. But I think you download it to your system. That's what I thought on the Switch, because that's what the Xbox is. You download. You don't stream it. You download it.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was going to be for the Switch, and you imagine those, you know, older Nintendo games really wouldn't take up hardly any space at all.
Yeah, anything from before the GameCube wouldn't take up much space.
Yeah, but they announced it because when the Switch came out, they're like, okay, you'll have the first few months free, you know, until our online component kicks in. And it's only going to be a couple bucks a month, so it'll be a lot cheaper than, you know, PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. And it's like, oh, cool, you know, it's going to be cheaper. You get access to classic Nintendo games. This is great. That was the last they've ever said about it. Haven't heard another word. So it's like, and yeah, E3's coming up, and you know they do their directs or whatever, but still, it's give us something. Like, people are buying this system in waves, and like I said, I cannot say enough good things about it. But at the same time, there's still that, like, you look at it and you're like, I know you're fucking up.
Mm-hmm. What I've heard is it's much faster than it runs much faster than the Wii U. The menus are much better.
Oh,
It's
everything.
a much smoother gameplay experience.
The user interface on it's awesome. You know, the way everything's set up. It's super clean, super snappy. You know, the games are on cartridges, so you pop the game in. There's no loading. You know, it's not gonna. You don't have to download to your system. There's a couple of new ones do. You know, some of the bigger sports games have to download something onto the.
Like updates.
Yeah, the memory, and they give you kind of a. I can't remember offhand what the memory card that comes with it is, or the internal memory. But
I want to say 32.
Yeah, it's not that much, but you can put bigger memory cards in it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd get a much bigger one than 32.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Get like 128 or something.
Yeah, you would be set for a long time with that. But yeah, it's super responsive, and there's some really cool accessories for it. Everything about it just works. You set it on the dock, and it immediately goes to the TV. You take it off the dock, and you have on this gorgeous tablet screen. You're playing Mario. You have this Zelda, insanely massive open world, like unbelievable game that you can walk around the house or take wherever you want to play it. Everything works, it's just so cool.
Yeah, I want one eventually. I don't know when I'll be able to get one, but I want one.
Yeah.
I would love to get like a 4K TV at some point, and like one of the 4K consoles, probably an Xbox One X, because I already have a PS4. I don't have Pro. I have a PS4.
Yeah, that's my plan for the spring. Is I'm gonna get the X. I'm gonna get a new TV because my Xbox One, I've got the launch edition, and it hasn't been running that great. And I know this, getting off the subject or whatever, but I'm gonna get the new one or whatever, and have everything set up.
Yeah, I will get one eventually. The Wii U, I still kind of want one, mostly for collector's sake. But
while we're talking, I'm gonna look and see what a new Wii U costs, because if I remember right, this is still pretty funny. So give me 1 second. Yeah, it's always fun to have one just for oh hey, I have a Wii U.
Yeah, there's some games on it that I'd like to play.
Amazon Prime. Let's see.
Oh, it's probably expensive to get a new one because they quit producing them.
Well, yeah, you can buy it on Amazon, $279. Let's see. So if you would pay that much money for a Wii U and not buy a Switch, I would die laughing.
Yeah, the Wii U is kind of a long-term goal, I guess. I want the other two consoles before I want that.
Yeah, there's still stuff that I need to get. Like as far as the main consoles, I have those. I have the 3DS. I really want to get the 2DS XL which is funny, they released that around, not long after the Switch came out. They released the 2DS XL, which kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, oh, they're putting out another console, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a 3DS with a larger screen and without the 3D, which I'm sure is fine with you since you can't see the 3D anyway.
Well, it's fine with everybody because they don't even. I would be shocked if they even made any games with 3D in it anymore, and I know most third-party ones don't have it. Because it just
3D turned out to be kind of a gimmick.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad it did, just because I hated hearing about 3D, but it still shows.
Thanks, James Cameron.
Yeah, terrible ass movie.
Fucking
he's
Avatar.
making 3 or 4 sequels to that shit. Oh my god, it's been how many fucking years since Avatar came out? No one cares.
Yeah, nobody talks about that movie anymore. Like, the only thing people remember from that movie is how gorgeous Pandora was. That's it. That's all anybody remembers from it, because the plot wasn't memorable, because it was Dances with Wolves in space done much worse.
It was, and you remember, it was Fern Gully. You remember Fern Gully?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the plot.
Robin Williams played the bat, didn't he?
Yeah. Look at the plot of Fern Gully. It's the same fucking thing. I just remember it was at in Avatar, and I don't mean to get on a tangent, but I hate that movie so much. But what was remember the priceless material was unobtainium, the fucking best name you could come up with.
Yeah.
Oh god.
The most enjoyable part of that movie was how stupidly over the top the villain was. You know what my robot needs? A big ass fucking knife. That's what he needs.
My favorite part was how he talked, because he was like, Pandora. You know, he couldn't try and talk more like a villain if he wanted to. It was so funny.
Yeah, and it wasn't that part was good because the writing was good. That part was good because it was so bad that it was funny.
Yeah, and like, I sided with the military, like these fucking hipster smurfs. I was like, just kill them all. Like, I can't stand them. Kill them.
Yeah, don't blame you on that one. I saw that movie once, and it's like, okay, it was gorgeous, and it's Dances with Wolves in space.
Yeah, like, he's got, 2 or 3 more coming out. It's like, oh, the next one's going to be underwater. Like, oh, gee, thanks, James. Yeah, I can't wait for that. I don't give a fuck. Like, you have all these amazing franchises, all this shit you can do, and you're going to fucking go underwater with those stupid fucking blue, whatever the fuck, I don't remember the dumbass race.
Cat people, I think.
Oh my god.
I don't remember what they're called, but they were cat people.
I just don't care. I cannot believe that one of the greatest directors of all time, easily, all he wants to do is make this fucking stupid ass movie. I could go on for hours about how much I hate that movie.
Yeah, now we're way off the topic of fucking Nintendo.
James Cameron is like, he's like Nintendo, you know? He's made so many good decisions, and then he makes some really fucking shitty ones. So Avatar is James Cameron's Wii U.
Basically, yes.
See how we just transitioned that back? Yeah.
Yes. So what's he gonna do to make the Switch then? So he's got to come back with something badass.
If he brings Terminator back and makes it actually good, then he releases Switch, right?
Yeah.
He got the rights for it back. Make a
I haven't even seen Genesis.
Arnold's awesome in whatever he does, but Genesis is, oh boy, it's bad. But if James Cameron, if he brings Terminator back and makes it like as big of a franchise as it was, then that's his Switch.
Yeah. I like I said, never saw Genesis. I saw 3, and it was a completely pointless sequel that was 2 but dumber.
It had the great scene of Arnold walking through the cemetery with like the coffin on his shoulder and the machine gun. Like, that was cool.
Yeah, that was, the action scenes were cool as shit, but holy crap, that movie was pointless.
Do you remember do you remember Salvation with Christian Bale?
Yeah, I remember Salvation.
And it was the fucking dude from Avatar. It was, god damn it, I can't remember his name. Like, this guy, I don't understand why he has to just keep appearing. And he was in Suicide Squad too. It's like he's attracted to the worst movies that are ever made.
Wait, Jai Courtney?
No. Wait. Jai Courtney was he in Suicide Squad?
Yeah, he was. I think he was the boomerang guy.
Was that him? Maybe I'm thinking of the other guy. Hold on.
That movie sucked.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Like the DCEU as a whole has not been very good. Wonder Woman's great though. I like Wonder Woman.
I thought Wonder Woman sucked, but that's just me. Oh god, Avatar came out in 2009. Oh,
god,
Sam.
Really?
Yeah.
It's almost a decade old?
Sam Worthington. Let's see what this
yeah, him.
Films.
Wasn't he an Iron Man? Or Iron Man 2?
No. Let's see here. Alright, he was in, let's see, Avatar. He was in Terminator Salvation. He was in Avatar. He was in that terrible Clash of the Titans remake. Then he was in that even shittier sequel.
I forgot there was a sequel to this shitty remake.
And he's going to be in Avatar 2 and 3. What the fuck is wrong with you, Sam Worthington? Oh, he was in Hacksaw Ridge. That movie's awesome.
I mean, at least he's making bank off of some of this stuff, so I'm sure he doesn't regret it.
I hope that he has to use all the money he makes for some fucking terrible lawsuit. Because that would serve his ass right for being in a shitty fucking movie. Like, every fucking dime that he makes off that movie, I hope he has to give it away.
Oh, yeah. Avatar. Oh my god, why was that so huge? Why was it such a huge movie?
Well, technology, I mean, it was the premise of, oh, James Cameron's bringing 3D back. Like, you want to go see 3D, so you want to go see Avatar. Like, why? No. I know I went to the theater to see it. I was that guy, because everyone on the planet went to the theater to see Avatar.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving it, and it wasn't like one of those movies to where you go see it, and you're like, oh, this was awesome. And then, like, a few weeks or a month later, you're like, oh, you know what, that did suck. Like, as soon as I left the theater, like, those were the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I remember being impressed with the technology, and the world they created was beautiful, and that was about it.
Yeah, it looked pretty.
It should have ended with, like, we should nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Then you go get your fucking rock.
I wish they would have just flew up in space and blew that planet up.
Give me one good reason why that they can't do that. Like, you can't beat people that you can literally fly far above anything their birds can reach.
Yeah, they're in like these fucking attack helicopters, futuristic attack helicopters and mech suits and all this shit. And these blue Smurfs are flying around on these like feminine dragons, throwing rocks and shit at them. Like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Oh, so bad, so bad. I mean, this motherfucker made Terminator 2. He made Aliens. Aliens, one of the greatest action movies ever made. Aliens.
In that regard, it's like Return of the Jedi if it was literally nothing but Ewoks.
Right, yeah. Oh god, it's so bad. Even thinking about it just fucking makes me angry. I just get mad.
Oh boy, we are way off topic. I should go ahead and end it. Thank you everybody for listening. Nintendo screwed up for about 4 years. They're getting a lot better now. Basically.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're on track.
Thank you everybody for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. It'd be greatly appreciated. We'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks everybody, and goodbye.
Be sure to tweet James Cameron and tell him how fucking terrible Avatar is. Thank you.